The Place of Thunder. A cinematic retelling inspired by the Xhosa legend associated with Khaleni on South Africa's wild coast. Along South Africa's beautiful wild coast, where green hills meet the restless ocean, a small village stood beside a quiet lagoon. Beyond the lagoon rose a towering cliff. At the edge of the cliff stood an enormous rock formation. At its center was a strange opening, almost perfectly round. Whenever the waves crashed through the opening, the entire coastline seemed to shake. Boom! The villagers called the place Khaleni, Place of Thunder. Long ago, before the great opening existed, the village looked very different. The people lived beside the peaceful lagoon, fishing, farming, gathering food, and raising their families. Among them lived a young girl named Nolitha. At night, the elders told strange stories about mysterious beings who lived beneath the ocean. "They look like us," one elder whispered. "But their hands and feet are shaped like flippers." Nolitha listened silently. She had always wondered what might truly exist beneath the waves. One morning, Nolitha walked alone along the edge of the lagoon. The air was still. The water barely moved. Then she heard something. A ripple moved across the lagoon. Nolitha stopped. Something was watching her. Slowly, a young sea person rose from the water. His wet black hair clung to his face. His hands and feet ended in delicate flippers. Nolitha stared in amazement. Nolitha was frightened at first. But Letha did not threaten her. He simply smiled. Soon, the two began meeting secretly beside the lagoon. Day after day, their friendship grew. They shared stories of two worlds, the village and the mysterious kingdom beneath the sea. But their secret did not remain a secret. One evening, Nolitha's father saw them together. His face hardened.
Nolitha! Stay away from the water! He is not for our world. You cannot see this creature again, Lassie.
He belongs to the sea.
You belong here.
His voice echoed across the water. Nolitha turned. Her father was standing behind her. That night, Nolitha sat alone outside her hut. She could hear the waves. Somewhere beyond them, she knew Letha was waiting. Letha returned to the ocean and told his people what had happened. The sea people were angry. They had watched the humans reject one of their own.
Elders of the deep,
We will not let their love be destroyed.
The sea people gathered beneath the moon. Then the older sea person summoned a creature from the deepest part of the ocean. A giant fish emerged from the darkness. That night, the tide rose higher than anyone in the village had ever seen. The ocean began pushing against the great cliff. The giant fish turned toward the cliff. Then it charged. Crash! The rock trembled. Again. And again. The giant fish struck the cliff while the sea people pushed and pulled at the rock. Cracks began spreading through the stone. With one final tremendous blow. Boom! The cliff broke open. A massive hole appeared. The ocean poured through the new opening and rushed into the lagoon. The two worlds were connected.
Oh, Mother Ocean, we sing your praise. The path is clear.
The sea people swam around the lagoon, singing with joy. Their voices blended with the crashing waves. The villagers woke to a sound unlike anything they had ever heard. The earth shook. The water roared. Some villagers ran toward the hills. Others hid inside their homes. They believed the spirits of the sea had come to punish them. But Nolitha knew exactly what was happening. She saw Letha waiting for her beside the lagoon.
We must go now!
The others need me.
Nolitha ran toward Letha. For a moment, they simply looked at one another. Then they smiled.
Letha, my love. Nolitha, I missed you so much.
Together, they disappeared into the darkness along the coast. No one in the village saw them again. Behind them, the sea continued rushing through the great opening. The villagers would never look at the cliff the same way again. When morning came, the villagers slowly returned. Before them stood something they had never seen before. A huge wave entered the opening. Boom! The sound echoed across the cliffs like thunder. And from that day forward, the people called the mysterious place Khaleni, Place of Thunder. As generations passed, the story of Nolitha and Letha became part of the memory of the coast. The villagers remembered the mysterious sea people, the giant fish, the great breaking of the cliff, and the two young lovers who disappeared together into the night. And whenever the waves thundered through the great opening, the people were reminded that the sea had once crossed the boundary between two worlds. The place became known as Khaleni, the place of thunder. Love can cross boundaries that fear tries to build. But the story also reminds us that what we do not understand should not automatically be feared or rejected. Sometimes, the greatest mysteries of the world begin when two very different worlds are willing to understand one another.
Remember to subscribe to the channel, like and share. One love. It would really help out a lot. Big up yourself.
Please like, subscribe, and share. Thanks for watching.